Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
Heads may finally be rolling in the Democrat money machine. After years of allegations, undercover videos, and denials, ActBlue is now getting hit from three directions at once. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, House investigators, and the Trump Department of Justice. That's not a rumor. That's a coordinated pressure campaign on the fundraising giant that, well, powers the left. And if what investigators are looking at is true, it's not just about bad bookkeeping. It's about whether illegal foreign money and fake donor identities were used to pump cash into American elections. So the question tonight is very simple. Was ActBlue the engine behind a massive political scam? You see, this matters to every American voter because elections are not supposed to be auctions where shadowy money floods through the system through weak safeguards and fake names. If a platform handling billions in political donations allowed improper contributions, then your vote was forced to compete with money that may never have belonged in our election to begin with. That's not democracy. That's corruption dressed up as grassroots activism. And look at the timing. The previous administration did nothing meaningful while these concerns kept growing, and now the Trump administration is treating it like the priority it should have been all along. That's what leadership looks like. And House Republicans are pushing for the documents. Paxton is suing. That's breaking news today. And DOJ is publicly signaling it's on the radar. You see, Democrats can scream partisan theater all they want. But if their top fundraising platform misled Congress, ignored subpoenas, or failed to stop improper donations, then the entire political operation built on that cash comes under suspicion. And yes, that includes Senate races, House races, and battleground states where razor-thin margins decided power. And while we're talking about systems designed to shake regular Americans down while insiders cash in, let me tell you about one way to protect yourself. You see, Noble Gold Investments understands a simple truth. Wall Street doesn't lose money on sell-offs, you do. They create the panic, wait for you to dump your position out of fear, and scoop it up at a discount. The big banks aren't selling their gold, they're buying yours. Every time the headlines scream, regular people sell. And every time regular people sell, the institutions are right there waiting with open hands to scoop it up. You built portfolio insurance for a reason. Don't let a red day hand it over to the people who caused it. And that's why I tell people to look at real protection. Visit nextnewsgold.com today and learn how you can diversify with Noble Gold Investments. Depending on your qualifying investment, you could receive a 10th ounce American Gold Eagle as well. That's nextnewsgold.com, or call the number 877-646-5347. Tell them Gary sent you. Now back to the corruption story. Democrats really did not want revived under President Trump. Listen, here's the twist that makes this bigger than one lawsuit. You see, this didn't just start yesterday. James O'Keefe's organization, OMG, the media group, released videos in 2003 and 2004, highlighting the alleged straw donor patterns and interviewing people who appeared unaware donations had been made in their names. Those reports helped drive deeper scrutiny from Texas, from Congress, and now from federal investigators. Now, to be precise, there are still no confirmed fraud findings or criminal charges at this stage, but the pattern is what matters. Once people started looking, more investigators kept showing up. Project Veritas was dissolved in 2003. James O'Keefe's OMG released videos in 2003-2004 alleging ActBlue straw donors, interviewing unaware contributors. These sparked the ongoing probes. House GOP subpoenas in July of 2025, the DOJ in April of 2025, and the Texas AG in 24 and 25. No confirmed fraud charges yet, according to Politico. Partisan claims continue, yada, yada. Now, this just in. Todd Blanche confirming the DOJ is investigating ActBlue for taking illegal foreign donations.
Stick to my ears, because we're sick of getting ripped off. Speaking of getting ripped off, I don't know if you saw the New York Times is saying the Democrats were taking millions of dollars in foreign donations and may have been lying about it. Are you looking into this?
I can tell you that that is a priority of this administration and this Department of Justice, and it's something that a lot of people have been very worried about for a very long time, and you should rest assured that it includes the Department of Justice and it includes me.
All right.
All right, that's the first step. Okay. Todd Blanche on the case. Carrie Lake, she's also talking about it too.
You can see that Eric Swalwell.
I think those are pretty bad. I think the fact that he lied on his mortgage forms is bad. But one thing that never has been looked into, and I was sounding the alarm on this, is the ActBlue allegations of smurfing, bringing in millions of dollars to his campaign and using people's names that really didn't make the donation. When are we going to look into those campaign violations? And that goes across the board for Democrats. And when are we going to look into the shady results of the election? You will never get me to believe that Ruben Gallego got almost as many votes as Donald Trump in the state of Arizona. Donald Trump won in a landslide victory in Arizona, the biggest victory he had in any of the battleground states. And they want the voters here to believe that Ruben got more votes than me. I got more votes than Kamala Harris. In order to make these votes work in Ruben's direction, they had to give him more votes than Kamala Harris and almost as many votes as President Trump. It doesn't make sense. I wish the media would start looking into that.
Yeah. So how do you get all those extra votes? Vote fraud, donor fraud. Bombshell exposed, ActBlue busted red-handed. Deep state Democrat fundraising machine accused of misleading Congress and obstructing probe into $20 billion shady donations. House committee leaders dropping scathing letter exposing the corrupt giant for deliberately blocking the investigation, ignoring subpoenas, funneling overseas cash that screams illegal foreign money flooding to our elections.
The New York Times reporting earlier this month, ActBlue may have misled Congress on vetting foreign donations. And now the leaders of 3 House committees sending ActBlue a letter demanding documents. They say the report, quote, confirms our initial findings and strongly suggests that ActBlue deliberately obstructed the committee's investigation, including through misleading statements and noncompliance with our subpoenas. One of those committee leaders is Congressman Brian Stile, and he joins us now. Thank you for being here. ActBlue had been on a tear for many, many years, raising a lot of money. And a spokesperson from ActBlue says the reality is that we have always been forthcoming with Congress, and we will not be intimidated by bipartisan theater. Our focus remains on providing the secure infrastructure the Democratic movement needs to win this November. What do you think they might have been lying about?
Well, ActBlue has processed roughly $20 billion in political donations since it was created. We know they're processing donations that originate from overseas. If that's a U.S. citizen, that's legal. If that's not a U.S. citizen, that's processing an illegal donation. Going back to 2023 in the lead up to the 24 election, I began asking questions of ActBlue to determine what procedures do they have in place to make sure that foreign entities or foreign people are not donating into U.S. elections. The New York Times now broke open this story to recognize that ActBlue was not forthcoming with my request for information in 2023. It's all the more reason that we're going to have to dig into this to determine are foreign donations being processed through ActBlue for liberal candidates in the United States of America. We cannot allow this in our country. Did you have any reason to initially ask that question? Like, were you just generally curious, or did you have...
No. He saw James O'Keefe's video, I'm sure. And then this just dropped today. Ken Paxton filing a landmark lawsuit against ActBlue for deceiving Americans by lying about its donation process that allow fraudulent and foreign donations. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Maybe I will. I don't know. It's a lot of reading. Attorney General Paxton sued ActBlue, a major political fundraising platform, for misleading consumers about its unlawful donation process that allowed fraudulent and foreign donations to undermine the integrity of our nation's elections. The radical left has relied on ActBlue as a way to funnel foreign donations and dark money into their political campaigns to subvert laws and compromise the integrity of our elections, said the Attorney General Paxton. ActBlue lied to Congress and the American people. ActBlue funds primarily left-wing campaigns at all levels of government. Now, recent reporting and internal OAG investigations have shown ActBlue lied about its donor vetting policies and its operation, as the New York Times recently reported. Lawsuit has been filed by Attorney General Ken Paxton. And here he is talking about it.
The administration did not pursue anything against ActBlue, and they continue to raise money. So then, of course, more recently, there was testimony in front of Congress by some of the ActBlue lawyers acknowledging that ActBlue had lied to Congress. They had not disclosed some of the problems with their fundraising, including potential using straw names and using names that were not matched to the actual donors, and also potential foreign investments, which is also completely illegal. So we actually tested it. We actually had my attorney go online and test it, and we were able to make donations without fully disclosing who we were. So we know the site's not, and they're raising money inappropriately. So we have now sued them. We use discovery to try to understand more fully how big of a problem this is.
So I saw a story this weekend about there was some Chinese organized crime network that was gobbling up gift cards and prepaid debit cards and funneling that money to various places.
That makes sense, too. Chinese money, handing out gift cards, using them on ActBlue, using fraudulent names. Of course, it's a perfect crime. And then came the moment Democrats can't spin. Todd Blanche confirming the DOJ is investigating ActBlue as a priority for the Trump administration and the DOJ. That means this has moved beyond internet chatter and partisan denial into the arena that actually scares political operatives: discoveries, subpoenas, records, and sworn testimony. Pair that with Paxton saying his office tested the system and was allegedly able to donate without fully disclosing identity, and you get the big picture. The establishment's favorite fundraising pipeline is under pressure because America First leaders are finally asking the obvious question: who is really funding the left? If illegal foreign money or fake donor structures help fuel Democrat campaigns, it's not a paperwork issue, it's an election integrity scandal of the highest order. So here's the takeaway. What started with James O'Keefe shining a light on suspicious donor activities now turned into a full-spectrum squeeze on ActBlue from Texas, Congress, and the Trump DOJ. That's what accountability looks like when Republicans stop apologizing and start investigating. And yes, claims are still claims until proven in court, but the pressure is real. The probes are real, and the Democrats are clearly nervous for a reason. If you want clean elections, secure borders, and an America First government, then you should want every penny in our political system traced and verified. Share this report everywhere because the corporate press would rather protect the machine than expose it. And comment below with a yes or no. Do you believe ActBlue should be fully audited? And text raw feed to 844-840-4963 to bypass the algorithm suppression of the Next News Network and get a direct message from me directly to your phone. And check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Stay loud, stay fearless, and keep fighting for the Republic.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.